All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Meet the Candidates Town Hall. Whether you are with us on Zoom or here live, thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. My name is Mitch Robinson. I'm on the board of directors, but I am not up for re-election this time. So I get to be your moderator this evening. And I want to, first of all, thank everybody that has decided to run, whether you are here live or on Zoom. We appreciate you being part of our community and offering to be part of either the Water Committee or the Board of Directors. Just a few ground rules for those of you that either are on Zoom or here in person. First, I would ask that anybody here live that's going to speak, you need to speak loud. We have a microphone. This is not a 5-camera setup. This is not ESPN, it's Lake Limerick. There's basically one camera in front of you that our people that are remote can see. So when you speak, please kind of speak to the room so everybody can hear you. I would ask that our people that are on Zoom, please stay muted until it's time for us to take questions. We're going to start with our water candidates. There are 2 openings on the Water Committee. We have 4 candidates, and then we'll do Board of Directors after that. When we, what we're going to ask is each candidate to say, it's going to be the 2-minute rule tonight. If you have a question, keep it short. And if you are going to speak, keep it under 2 minutes. And I think that will work well for everybody. We are going to ask each candidate to talk for about 2 minutes, tell us who they are, why they're running for the Water Committee. Then after each of them speak, then we will ask first our live audience if anybody has a question. And if you have a question, we're going to need you to stand up and speak about this loud out of respect for the people that are on Zoom so they can hear. Then after we take any questions from the live audience, we'll then take questions from those of you that are remote. And again, if you're joining us remote, I'll probably say this a few times, please make sure you're muted or we will mute you ourselves if we have time to do that. This is supposed to go from 6:30 to 8. I have a feeling it's going to be less than that, but our audience will determine that based on how many questions we have. So with that, we're going to start with the Water Committee. Again, I'd like to welcome Don, Chris, Dan, and I don't believe Jerry is here. So he may show up. I don't think he's on Zoom. So we'll move with the candidates that we have here. I also want to remind everybody that all the candidate statements are on the Lake Limerick website. I encourage you to read all of those as well. All right, with that, our first person we're going to hear from is Don Bird. Again, Don, tell us a little bit about you and why you would like to be in the Water Committee. Okay.
So I'm Don Bird. Our family has been here for almost 60 years. Both my wife's parents and my parents bought properties in the mid-60s. So we've been here camping. Whose parents built a cabin on their property. And my dad just had it for investment, which turned out good. We've been here, we bought a cabin in 2001 and built a retirement house in 2008 and lived here full time since 2016. I've been on the Water Committee for almost 12 years as member, secretary, the chair, and now treasurer. So I kind of provide a historical knowledge of some of the things on the water system. I'm electrical engineer, was electrical engineer for 40 years doing computer programming, computer-based control system work, IT, data communications, and security. Have a number of Water Committee accomplishments. Basically helped upgrade the SCADA system or the control system for the water system at least a couple of times, and continue to work with Chris McMullen is in the back. He's our water manager and he's a great one. So thanks, Chris, for being here and for doing your thing. It's great. And I've also helped with some of the software packages that the community uses, the billing system and the meter reading system. Helped out Rhonda back there and, with issues that she's had with the software. Goals for the next term are help complete the water system plan. Kelly just submitted that back to Northwest Water for their editing, checking, reviewing. Another one is to get one of our well sites back online so it can be operational and improve the filtration so it can be used. One of the other projects I hope we can complete this year maybe is getting some of the hydrants back online instead of being covered by covers right now. Not a very pretty sight. And continue to help the staff with things. One other thing we'd like to do is improve the reliability of the system by implementing one more generator at one of the well sites. And hope to continue maintaining the water quality and capacity of the water system and work on long-range planning. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Don. Next up is Chris Castillo. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
How about that? Chris, make sure to speak up, and Chris is also running for the water committee. Go ahead, Chris, and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on the water committee.
So my name is Chris Castillo. Me and my family have been here just about 4 years now. I actually want to come on the committee as to learn the system to be able to help out when I'm able to. My prior experience in water is I've been working with water and installing piping and stuff since I was 13 years old. And now I was 40.
Speak up a little bit, Chris.
Sorry, I'm not very good at talking loud. I just want to come on board and learn the system. I want to help do repairs to the system and things like that. This is kind of new for me. My experience in working with water is, as of right now, as I'm an HVAC technician over on Joint Base Lewis and Ford. And so I work hand in hand with the pipe fitters, installing pipe and everything, also with installing full systems. So that's my experience right now. So I just want to come on board. I want to bring some of the knowledge that I know, learn the system that you guys have, and be able to help improve the system as time goes on.
Great. Thank you very much, Chris. Jerry Young is not with us this evening. I'm just making sure of that. Jerry, if you happen to show up on Zoom, please alert us. So next we'll go to Dan Casano.
Okay, hi, I'm Dan Casano, and I'm running for position on the water committee. I came to Lake Limerick as a kid. My parents were original lot owners out here, back in the mid-60s through the 70s. Really enjoyed it. So when it came time to get our own place, we came back to here. We've been here 16 years. I've been retired for 8 years from Boeing. I spent 35 years there as a systems engineer, engineering manager, and chief project engineer on multi-billion-dollar projects. Want to get back to the community, use those experiences to help out. I'm currently on the water committee. I was appointed, not elected. I've been helping out on it for about 2 years. A lot of coming up to speed, trying to help, working on the water system plan that was mentioned. But it takes a lot of time to actually learn the history, and I've still got more learning to do. There's just a lot behind our water system. By the way, I really enjoy the water. It tastes good. For me, and I think most of the community, we have a #1 priority is to give safe and reliable water to our community. And that's what we focus on all the time. And as Don mentioned, we got some improvements we're working on, but #1's getting us water we can drink 99.9% of the time. Now, as Don mentioned, I too am in support of getting the fire hydrants available to support fire flow. But we can only do that when we meet the first statement I said, keeping the water safe and reliable. And right now we aren't there. but we can continue to work that, and that would be an important thing to me. The other thing is our system's old. 60 years old, basically. We might have another 10 to 30 years of life before we're gonna have to do major improvements to the system, mostly involving the pipes we have out there. And another thing I like to keep focusing on is getting the funding in place for that, getting our capital reserve built up so that when it does come time to replace the system, we have funds available. I mean, there's always potential loans, special assessments. You want to avoid those things if you can. You want to get your funds built up now. And so I'll continue to press for that as well. And you know, that affects your rates, but that's what we have to do so that we don't get a big hit later on when we do really have to change things. You have lots of money come out of your pocket, but you don't have to save it. So,
Thanks, just about.
and I'm actually done, other than thank you for your consideration.
All right, great. And by the way, all of our candidates, we're gonna take questions now, and we can obviously, share some more things if we have questions. So at this point, we're gonna take questions from our live audience, and then if we have questions from our Zoom folks, we'll do that after. If anybody has a question that is here, we'd like you to walk up a little closer, so you're just kind of to the left of that microphone, so the people at home can hear you, then you can sit down, and if you have a question, it's a question for everyone, so we'll give everybody 2 minutes. Everybody gets to answer. So does anybody here have a question? If not, I brought some. All right, I'm not seeing any questions from the live audience. If anybody has a question that is on Zoom, would you care to open up your microphone or put your thumbs up if you know how to do that, and we will take your question. A lively group this evening. All right, I will ask one question then of the 3 gentlemen that are here. What personal qualities do you have that you think will make you a great member of the water committee? We're gonna go in reverse order this time. Sorry, Dan, but tell us a little bit about your personal qualities that'll help you out being on the committee.
Well, one, I'm really shy. So I'm data driven, and I could have my mind changed based off of data. I'm not hardcore on any one path typically. So we have new data, we learn something, I'm willing to adjust where I'm going with things and where I can help the committee go. Being a systems engineer, you look at the big picture and you worry about risk, you worry about political impacts, you worry about economic impacts, environmental impacts for things you're doing. You worry about the whole life of a project. And I think that having those qualities and then a career doing that brings something to the game that helps us all.
Great, thanks, Dan. Since Chris was in the middle last time, we'll skip over to Don, and then we'll go to Chris last. Again, the question for you, Don, is what kind of personal qualities do you have that you think helps you being on the water committee?
Well, I think one of the things is I'm pretty easy to get along with. I'm pretty even-tempered, calm. I work well with people, and you know, within the water committee, we've had a very good group that's willing to communicate and share their ideas, and nobody's ideas are wrong. Just work well as a team. You know, like Dan, I've got some qualities that my computer background helps me to assist the staff, both on the water department side and on the office staff side to do their job. So I think that's my main qualities.
Great. Same question for you, Chris. What qualities do you have that you think would help you being on the water committee?
I have a pretty good drive and willingness to learn. I mean, obviously, I'm the new person here. Working on the Army base, I deal a lot with customer service, anywhere from talking to 3-star, 4-star generals to sergeant majors, all the way down to the lowest person on the totem pole. And we always exercise, you know, customer service, customer support, being polite, being approachable, and keeping people informed about what's going on around them. That's what I can bring.
Great. I want to thank all three candidates that are here tonight, as well as Jerry, who is not here. Thank you all for volunteering. Again, there are 2 openings. The ballots have started going out in the mail. And I also, again, highly encourage everyone to go to the Lake Limerick website where you can read full candidate statements and get more details. So we've already asked for questions from the audience and via Zoom. So with that, I will dismiss you 3 gentlemen. Now we're going to move to our board of director candidates. And one of our candidates, it's via Zoom, so don't worry, make sure that you're part of the continuum, obviously. You don't worry about that.
He took. Someone took the Jerry's. Thank you.
For those of you at, we are getting everybody, seated. I know a couple of people have asked if folks can come to the podium, reasons we're not doing it that way, I apologize, but I will remind the candidates to speak loudly and clearly. Better do that next time. So, okay, now it's time for the board of directors. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people running for the board of directors. There are 3 openings. Again, I encourage you to go to the website and read their statements. We'll ask each person to make a few comments, up to 2 minutes, gentlemen. I even have signs here, so don't make me pull out a sign so your time's up. Please try to hold your comments to 2 minutes, a little bit about yourself and why you are running. So you'll... All right. Okay, I think we are ready to begin. All right, so we're going to start again in the same order that I have that's on the website. So first we will ask John Jemmy to speak. Again, John, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to be on the board.
Well, I've lived here almost 6 years now. My partner and I, Tom, sometimes known as Dan, little joke there, but and I've been on the board for the past 3 years. Before that, I was chairperson of the compliance committee. In my 3 years on the board, I served as secretary for the first year, as vice president for the second year, and then president for this past year. None of it has been easy on any of those positions. The board is not a holiday for anyone serving. This past board has been very good in communication and in in working. Everybody on the board has a job and does their job. Personally, I feel that I have contributed to moving the association ahead with not only board members and committees, but with the staff in the office, the staff at the inn, in maintenance, and the pro shop. It's been one cohesive effort to move ahead.
I'm just about up, John.
What? I feel like I just started.
I'll pay for it later, but you're almost at 2
Good to
minutes.
go. That's it. I'd appreciate you both.
All right, thank you, John. And again, just a reminder for those of you just joining, we will be taking questions live and also from our friends that are on Zoom. Next up is Mike, whose last name I always like to say wrong. I'm going to give it a try. Renee?
Nope, Bernai.
Bernai.
Or Bernai.
Mike, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you'd like to be on the board.
Okay, about 4 years ago, we bought a house, Mary and I, down in Kings Cove here, and we moved down here full time in March of 2020. So we're on our third year full time on here. I retired from the psychotherapy practice about 45 years, which was kind of, I needed to take some time and not do anything for a while. And then about a year and a half ago, I started getting involved in committee work. I experienced all the committees and I joined the architecture committee. And then I was asked to be the chairperson of the hearing committee. Both of those I still do. And then an opportunity came up to replace one of the board members that needed to leave for a while. And so I took that opportunity, and it seemed like a really kind of cool way to get a job interview for 7 months that was mutual. And during that time, I decided that I really kind of liked it. And I have some ideas about how to pursue going forward with the community. I think we have a lot of stuff on our plate. Dan alluded to the water piping issue in the reserve study. We also have to figure out whether or not we want to follow our own rules in terms of our bylaws. Sometimes we're a little bit more flexible with those than we need to be or should be. And we have a lot of collections to do. And I think it's going to, change is very awkward. And I think that my skill set in managing change, in withstanding the intensity of that, is pretty well documented. So that's kind of what I want to do, and that's what I have to offer, and I'd like to get your vote.
Thank you, Mike. Next up is Dean Dyson. Dean, go ahead.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
I've been a member at here since about 2007 in a camping lot. And then in 2015, we bought a house on St. Andrews, and after doing some temporary work in Seattle, I moved down here full-time for myself for about 2017. And for the last 4 years, I've spent that pretty much on the board of directors. And I'm kind of nosy, so I like to know what's going on around me. And so I pretty much go to as many meetings as I can attend, committee meetings, to keep on top of what's happening and to be able to give my opinion on those things. And for the most part, I think I've been doing a fairly decent job, and I enjoy the people. I know a lot of the people in this room and on the screen because of that. That's one of the great things about being down here that I really enjoy. It's meeting all the people and getting along with everybody, most people. And what was that?
Time's just about up.
Time's just about up. And it's I think my experience. I think my experience of being on the board and committees and stuff is helpful and gives me a little leg up on others, I think. And I do enjoy it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dean. And next, we're going to go live via satellite to Dwayne Lansterberg. I hope I said that right, Joey. And Dwayne,
Close enough.
there's a big screen up here, so when you talk, you're also speaking to the people in the audience here, as well as your fellow friends on Zoom. So we'll let you take a couple minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you for the virtual introduction. Dwayne Landsberg is looking for everyone to give consideration. We've been there since 1995. We started with a camping lot. My kids were just born. We've enjoyed Lake Limerick. We've been water ski enthusiasts for that entire time. We founded the water ski club on Lake Limerick, and definitely guilty of the buoy course. So and all of that has brought to bring my neighbors together on the lake, and have enjoyed the community and want to try to find some time now to give back. I've been on Lake Dam all but 3 years since '95, and we look forward to being pragmatic and helpful in all the budget issues that are that the board needs to take into consideration. You know, a couple of things that are dear to my heart is the safety our parks, the security, and I'm looking forward to doing my best to support my fellow board members in any way possible to achieve whatever the goals are of the group. I'm self-employed. I've been a developer in South Snohomish County my entire life, and I look for your vote. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Dwayne. Thank you for being with us, just like everybody else here. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to ask if anybody in the live audience has a question. Then we'll see if anybody on Zoom has a question. So.
Acknowledgement of Jerry.
Yeah, I should acknowledge one more time that Jerry Young is not with us tonight. And again, a reminder that all candidates have their statements posted online on the Lake Limerick website. So with that, do we have any questions from our live audience? Okay, would you mind coming up just to the left of the mic there, Rich, so people at home can hear you? That's good that you were right there.
Do we know why? Do we know why Jerry's not here?
Oh, we do not know. That's, I assume, not a question for the panel. That was just a question.
That's just general.
Okay, nope, I have no idea. Okay, any questions for our panelists? Okay, I see none live, so I'll ask our Zoom audience, does anybody have a question for our candidates? Oh, I see a question. We kind of stand up a little closer there, if you don't mind, and just yell it out.
I would like to know what you see as the biggest issue we need to work over the next 3 years.
Okay, or I'll repeat that for the people at home if they didn't hear. The question from our live audience is, what is the biggest issue that we need to work on? Right. And let's go in reverse order. So Dean, we'll start with you. Actually, Dwayne, total reverse order. We'll start with you first.
Well, honestly, for me, it's the concern over the water budget and the impacts. The security in our parks is a tight second, and just creating getting the consultants involved that are going to be necessary so that the water committee will bring to the board the right kind of information so that we can then do a good job planning for our future budget.
Great, thank you, Dwayne. Same question for you, Dean.
I think probably, to me, the biggest is the amount of the aging of the community. Whether it's the water pipes, the water, the problems with the lakes, they rise to probably my highest thought, that there are so many little things that have to go along, or the lake is going to turn into a swamp eventually, especially leprechaun, and or we may have problems with blue-green algae or plumes. They seem to be future if we don't keep them clean. So I think that's probably our greatest need right now.
Mike, thank you, Dean. Sorry to make you up. Mike, same question for you.
I think our greatest need is money. I think our greatest need is money, and I think it fits into the reserve study that's been going on, and I think that we need to start planning the future, how we're gonna pay for this stuff. Everything that Dean said, I'm all in, right? And, because he's right. And what's the order? What do we do first? Do we fix the pipes or do we dig up some weeds? There's all these kind of questions that I think are gonna be facing this board, probably sooner as opposed to later. That's it.
Thank you, Mike. John, same question.
Yeah, I think that, what everyone said, Wayne mentioned the water, and that is a real serious issue for us. The issue of the reserve study, and I see Connie is here tonight. Connie actually chaired the committee that formed the reserve plan that we have. The board has never really adopted that plan as yet, and we have just currently found someone who's willing to chair that committee. But there are a number of other issues as well. One of them is, Mike alluded to it a little bit earlier, the issue of the bylaws and the declarations. A number of things have come out. One of them is our declarations relevant anymore? Are our bylaws relevant? We are having an attorney, the HOA attorney, look at a few of the items in it to see if they are. We have a case going on against the HOA currently that's saying that our declarations are outdated. So we have to see actually how that's going to work, and we may have to form a group, get a group together of board members plus community or committee members to try to take a look at that. But the last thing I think is a real serious issue, and it involves the actual membership of Lake Limerick. And it's something that is involved in the same suit. Right now, it's just litigation between the attorneys, but it may end up being a suit. It looks like it's heading that way. And it's called the Public Trust Doctrine, which states that we have a couple of, or a few members have joined against the HOA, stating that we have no right to say the public can't use the lake. The public can use the lake anytime that they want. The lake does not belong to the members of Lake Limerick. It belongs to the state. The land under the water can belong to Lake Limerick. The water belongs to the state, and under the Public Trust Doctrine,
John,
anyone can use.
it's just about us.
Okay, so I think those are the real serious issues that we're facing.
Thank you. Great upbeat comments from everybody. Huh? But these are serious issues that are outdated that we have to scare. Do we have any other questions from the live audience or the Zoom audience? Okay, we come up a little closer to the blue microphone there. We have another live audience question for our board candidates.
Okay, so between the three of you, if you were to prioritize the priorities of what everything you guys have talked about tonight, what would be your top three? What would be the first ones you would deal with?
So the question for those of you, if you couldn't hear, what are the top three priorities that each of you would have? This time we'll start with Mike, and then we'll go from there. And can I get a quick answer? Name 1, 2, 3.
Reserve study, bylaws, lake health.
Okay, great. We'll go to John next.
I will say the same: reserve study, bylaws and declarations, and ownership of the lake.
Okay, Dean?
I kind of agree with that. I put the lake at the top, water system second, and then communications with the whole community. For emergencies and for non-emergencies, I think those would be the three that I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Dwayne, sorry, Dwayne. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. For me, it's reserve steady, because that's how your budget's created. Then it's security. And then after security, it's getting our water system top notch and getting our fire system working again. Those are my top three.
Great, thank you. Thank you for the question. So let me just remind everybody one more time, all the candidate statements are online on the website. Ballots have started being mailed out, so if you're a member in good standing, you should be receiving a ballot. You can contact the office if you have any more questions. I also want to break some news tonight. I think I'm allowed to say this, but the inn is going to reopen tomorrow night. Is that a sure thing? Right?
Rogers did, yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah. So the inn will be back in service tomorrow night. So join us at the inn tomorrow night and through the weekend. And we will do our best to get this online if you want to watch it again. And with that, I'd like to thank everybody. I want to thank all our candidates. And as a reminder to all our candidates, we hope that you continue to volunteer whether or not you are elected. That goes for everybody in the audience. We always need more people to be on our committees. That what really makes the lake special. is the volunteer membership that we have. And also want to thank our staff for their continued hard work. So with that, have a great evening and thank you for dedicating your time this evening. We appreciate it.